We are the learners and makers. After camping for nearly a week in Dinosaur National Monument, Utah, it was time for a shower and a few restorative days with family in Salt Lake City. Then it's heading back to Oregon. We are on the home stretch. But before exploring our home state, we couldn't resist one more dip in some hot springs, this time in southern Idaho.
You know, it's like homeward bound, almost. You know when you're on a trip, you've done all the major big stuff, you are now on your way back, and you can feel that change. You know home is on the horizon, but not yet. That was definitely on our minds as we were leaving Salt Lake City, bellies full of massive honey buttered scones. And
I had forgotten about the honey
how
buttered scones.
could you forget those scones? I mean, they were bigger than our hands.
They were delicious.
They were the size of a plate.
Yeah.
Sill's Café, just north of Salt Lake City. It's good stuff.
We knew that we wanted to have a fairly leisurely, I don't know how to describe that, leisurely pace to our trip. It's not, leisurely doesn't quite feel right, but the only really big driving day we had was leaving home and getting to Boise.
Yeah.
That was the very first day, and after that, I think the most we drove was around 4 or 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was the one drive that we made into like 10 hours. It could have been 5. So, but that's why we wanted to have should be 5-hour drives, so that if we wanted to stop, if something changed, we had that flexibility. And so what we really needed was, when we were leaving Salt Lake, a stop between Salt Lake and Oregon.
A family member of ours had told us about a really cool place called Miracle Hot Springs, a little outside of the Twin Falls area. And we're like, you know what? This would be a great place in between, stop here a couple nights, and hey, hot springs.
Yeah. Yeah, we really hadn't done any hot springs before this trip. And then we got to do 2, one in Colorado and one in Idaho. And I think we found that's a very enjoyable, we really like doing an occasional hot springs as a family.
It feels so hot, it feels so good. Well, it was fun with this area too, because the hot springs were kind of the centerpiece for us, but we were also near a national monument.
Yeah.
Fossils really came to define this trip, babe.
I know, because we were near a national monument called Hagerman.
Hagerman.
And it was all about different fossil findings. It was super small. It was totally doable in even really a few hours. Well, unless you wanted to do a more extensive hike. You could have done a more extensive hike. But as far as kind of learning about it and learning about the area, it was a quick one. And it was nice for the kids to get one more Junior Ranger badge.
Should we keep moving now?
Okay, just go around
Do we
it.
have
Give
any-
it plenty of space.
Do we have any writing utensils in the car? Whoa.
Yes.
Yes.
As the
Look
green
at his
pouch
back feet.
at camp.
Yes.
Yeah, we have some more pencils in the car too. And pens.
Well, and I also really like that we not only got to kind of dip into the more distant past with like, oh, here's the Hagerman horse fossil and some other notable finds in the area, but more recent past where you're also near some of the Oregon Trail. Like there were some parts we got to explore where you could look down at some areas and see, you could still see wagon ruts. So just that connection with the distant past, the recent past, like our planet's history, our history as a people, those are some nice themes to bring throughout the trip as this area where the kids could learn so much about what's come before. Thank you so much for hitting the home stretch of our road trip with us. It has been so much fun sharing these stories with you, and we can't wait to show you our next video. You can follow our everyday adventures on Instagram at Learners and Makers. We also have extensive travel articles and guides and more information about family travel at our website, learnersandmakers.com. On YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ding that bell so you get notified as soon as we drop our next video. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.